Hi, my name is Emma Forson. I am an entrepreneur, a creative. I am 24 years old. I studied mechanical engineering at Upcycle University. And, I guess I love to take risks and try so many things. So you can see me as the outgoing yet introverted person. Oh, I started modeling in university, right? And my thesis had to do with fashion, and I studied mechanical engineering. So I was looking at ways to um, modify clothing or fabric such that regardless of your external conditions or the temperature or the weather, you still feel comfortable. And when I finished my university, I got accepted as a fellow in the Ashesi Venture Incubator. They basically help you with your business ideas just to make sure that you're ready for investors at the end of a 1 year period. And one of the things they made us do was to do a summer research. So I did further research into the fashion industry, into thrifting, and I realized there's a huge problem of fabric waste, textile waste that is being generated here. And I realized not many people, actually I spoke to the Environmental Protection Agency, and they are so not focused on or interested in delving into that space, right? So I realized, oh, that's something that needs to be done, but not many people are doing it. So why not just pick it up and try and solve that problem of textile and fabric waste here in Accra? How did it all start? Well, okay, I would say you always think of trying to be independent. Going to university, you realize that your parents are going through a lot just to make sure that, you're able to go through school, you have something to eat. So I just thought, before I go out into the world, I have to find a way to make sure that I can depend on myself and also be some sort of support for other people financially. So I thought I had to start a business or start. So I did a few which failed, and then I got into the Ashesi Venture Incubator, which I thought was a great opportunity to grow as an entrepreneur, and also solve problems. So that's the part I love about it. You're not just making profit, you're making impact as well. So we are a fabric waste management initiative. Long term, we want to be a recycling center, but for now, we take people's old clothes, old fabrics that they're not using anything for. We either donate, we thrift, consignment thrift, or we upcycle for now. And we also educate people on the recycling center, because on recycling, on their relationship with clothes, because we realize that it's a niche here in Accra. People don't understand what you mean by recycled fabric or recycling fabric, So yeah. Okay, so it could be an old outfit or an old top that is not completely destroyed but still cannot be worn as though, to a grand event, right? And if people are not buying it, we probably cut it up and turn it into other useful items like scrunchies, like bonnets, you can name anything, like bags. Just be very creative about it. So we're giving a new purpose to old items, old fabric items. Oh my god, I was so excited. I would set unrealistic goals, unrealistic numbers, as in targets. Maybe a group of customers I want to target, maybe I would say I'm targeting 4,000 for the month. And when I go in, I realize that it's a lot more stressful, and I had to put in more work than I thought I had the passion to do. Right, it's beyond passion, it's beyond all of that, it's beyond curiosity, it's just about being determined. And the first time I got my first customer, I was really happy because she said that we were basically sent from God, because she had so many clothes she didn't know what to do with. And so we also offer decluttering services for people's homes, people's wardrobes, because we realize that a lot of Ghanaians have clothes of maybe their kids from when their kids were very young till after they got married. And so even my family, we had that problem. So I go from door to door to clean up people's homes. And the lady was like, oh, thank God you are here. Like, I really needed the service. And that made me feel, finally, all of the stress I've been going through, it shows that there is a need for what we are providing. So the first day was very exciting, but quickly just had a reality check as to what I need to do and what's expected of me. It was by what do you call those things? You know, by referral. Yeah, and I was surprised because I thought, you know, not many people. We don't have a huge following on social media as of now, but I guess when you put in the work and you're consistent, people see you. So somebody randomly called me and said that they've seen my business and they've been, you know, referred by somebody else, and I was just like very happy because I don't even know who referred whom, you know. So yeah, it makes me feel happy because it shows that your work eventually would reap some results. Interestingly, right after that person ordered, another person with a similar issue also ordered, saying that asking if the scrunchies could be customized, and we were like, hell yeah, sorry for custom, but like, yes, we can definitely do that. So they want theirs to be more elastic, you know, wider, so they can wrap it around their dreads. So I was happy that we get to solve a very distinct need. Well, I will not call myself a seamstress. No, it's something that I had to learn, and I thought it would be very simple and very easy. You know, we've all picked up a needle and thread at some point. The first upscaling I tried to do was to turn a piece of fabric into scrunchies, and I was using my hand at the time, and I realized that there's a lot more to it than I imagined. And so I realized that since I didn't have the time to be sewing and also trying to promote the business and developing the business idea, I ended up teaming with feature artists. These are very skilled and talented people who either paint or sew, you name it. And even what I'm wearing is made from one of our feature artists. Her name is Amini, and she sewed a set of swimsuits out of unused fabric that people just gave to us, you know, because they didn't need it anymore. How has the journey been? It started out as being very exciting, and you know, just seeing that, you know, you do a lot of research online, you do a lot of reading, you think, oh yay, I've got the best solution, and you're excited to see what would come of it. But you go into the field and it becomes a lonely journey, and you start wondering what was the point. But that was until I had my first customer, and then a couple more after that. But the best periods for me were, especially with those who became part of my team, people who who were once my customers and would speak to me and say they love what I'm doing and they want to be a part of, you know, what I'm doing. And it's been amazing since, because right now we have 4 beautiful women as a team. We have myself, we have Brianna, who's a branch manager, we have Tenika, who's a volunteer, who, you know, we are getting there with her role, and we have Laju, who's a Nigerian, and she is helping us with social media for now. And yeah, they're just amazing people, and I can't wait to see how far we go with all of this. So right now, where I am is being open to the changes that come in with the business, because that's one thing I realized I had to learn, to be very flexible and open-minded, because we're trying to solve people's problems, provide a need, right? And it's basically all about the customer. So my initial idea of recycling, you know, I'm open to it not being recycling in the next 5 to 10 years, but all I know is that I want to solve the need or the problem of fabric waste production. Let me start with breaking even. First off, I've put in a lot more into this business than I've been able. I have not broken even yet. I've put in a lot of money into this business because there are a lot of equipment that you need. You have to get a skill, you have to rent a place to put the clothes that you're collecting. You know, there's a lot to it. But in terms of stuff, Initially, I was just a one-person team, but now we are 5, and there's actually there are an extra 3 people who help us with production. Right, amazing people, New Age Productions. I think people should check them out. They do business for people's businesses. They do content creation for businesses. So they're really helpful. And so yeah. And you mentioned in terms of stuff, in terms of breaking even, in terms of what?
Say just orders.
Orders. Oh
the
yeah.
Sales you've been making since the first day.
Yeah, I believe that they've also increased. And one thing I realized is because it's people's items, they hold a lot of value to it, so you have to be trustworthy, and that's one thing that's very big for me. And yeah, if they don't trust you, they will not leave their or give their clothes to you. So that's one thing that has brought me a long way. Be getting support, because most of the people of the older generations believe you have to have a secure job. So I do believe having the support really makes it much more comfortable and more relaxing, and even pushes you even further to achieve your own personal entrepreneurial goals. Secondly would be money, because believe it or not, you need to make money. You need to have money. You need money to make money. That's the truth. But you can start from somewhere, of course you can. But if you want to go further, you have to put in more money to get where you want to get. You have to you have to use your own money from your pockets. I guess not everybody's story is the same, right? But let me just say, with my story, I have learned that I shouldn't be attached to money, because money comes, money goes, but just learn how to make it work for you. And I'm still learning, right? So because yeah, you have a lot of people to pay, not a lot of people, but at some point you have some people to pay, you have clients to please, you have to go up and down. Even transport requires a lot of money. So yeah, just detach myself from money. The second lesson would be to not overthink things, right? As I mentioned earlier, I had unrealistic goals I set, so I have to set smart goals that are achievable and realistic. So yeah, I have to work with small numbers first and then keep going from there. Another very big thing I realized, I don't want to say quite late, but almost recently, was to focus on a niche. Even though this space, the issue of fabric or textile recycling is a niche here in Accra, even with things like this, you have to narrow them down and focus on a particular group of people, so that you can, whatever you learn from that, you can use that to grow. And it's easier with that small amount of people, with my current capacity, so that's something I had to learn the hard way. Because when you start, you're like, oh, everybody will need the solution, everybody will need this, because everybody wears clothes, right? But you'll be surprised as to who is not interested in your solution. Yeah, I don't want to use COVID as an excuse, but the whole pandemic and other things happening. So I lost a few people in the past year, in less than a year, and I had a few, you have things happening to you, personal things happening to you. You have mental health breakdowns, especially if you're running your own business without the support you need. You have nights you cry yourself to sleep, but you wake up the next morning, you're like, what's the next thing? So personally, I feel like if I look at myself right now, from how I started, I am very proud of myself. I'm extremely proud of myself. The fact that I still have the will to get up and do what I'm doing. Honestly, discipline is your best friend, right? Because there will be moments you don't feel like it, and once it's muscle memory, you get it. So you realize you're still doing things you need to do, and by the time the emotions have passed, you've done what you have to do. So but yeah, take breaks when you have to. If I've actually